Hello, on this episode of the Inventive Marketing Club, I'm going to be looking at YouTube search engine optimization, or SEO. We're going to be looking at how to optimize your videos and channel, and maybe even some insights and techniques to maximize your reach and improve how your videos are found and discovered on YouTube. So let's dive in. This is going to be a walkthrough. So I'm just going to take you through our channel and some of the things we're doing to optimize our channel at this time, because to be honest, we haven't needed to. It's not something we've needed to do since we've been running the club and the podcasts. So now we're wanting to expand that, get some more views, get some more subscribers. And so I'm going to take you through some of the things we've learned on our journey as we're starting out. First thing to note, really, and it's most important, like anything on when you're doing search engine optimization, is to understand the competition. And there's a lot of it. I was watching a video from HubSpot. In fact, actually, that video I'm going to link to in the post. It's well worth watching. And on there, they mentioned that YouTube uploads, or people using YouTube uploading about 3.7 million videos each day. That's quite a few videos. Obviously, not all of them are going to be competing in your market. Really depends on your niche. You can bet there's a load of marketing videos that are going up. So we've got a very competitive niche. It's going to be really difficult for us to stand out. So I've got to really focus on who it's relevant for. A couple of key things to note when you're thinking about optimization is that one of the key factors is watch time. And really, you're going to get most of the watch time, and your videos are going to be most watched within the first 48 hours or so. And this is where the subscribers you have are going to get sent notifications so they can watch the videos first. You're going to get some bump from people searching for your video online who don't know about you but want to find out more about the topic. Or if your video is doing well, you're going to get recommended. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So it's important to note that if you can build up subscribers, that's going to help get you more views and watch time. And that's really one of the things you want to be optimizing for. So first thing is where you can be found. Obviously, people can just search for you. They can just search in Google because YouTube is part of Google. And so it's going to recommend videos that are relevant to that Google search. It may even show them, and most likely will if they're present, at the top of the Google search. So it's a really good way of getting high up. And important to note that YouTube videos are indexed more quickly than your website. So you can often publish a video within minutes. Really, I've had one published within 15 minutes. I'm at the top of Google for that particular keyword. I may not stay there, but recency matters. So if you publish something, a more recent version or the more recent videos are going to be published and shown at the top of Google. You can also get found in Google search itself. So we're looking at our channel here. Someone can be in YouTube and search at the top, whether they're using the desktop app or the mobile app. And that's quite a common place to go, particularly if you know you want a video. It's quite good for that to be filtered down. The other place that people might get found is if they're watching a video, then there might be recommended videos for them to watch. And so you'll see those in the sidebar usually, or they might be after you've finished watching a video, there'll be recommended videos that you could watch after this. And that's quite an important place to be found as well, because they're going to be, if someone's watching a video about marketing, for example, or YouTube optimization, then they might want to watch more videos like that. So YouTube's trying to suggest things that they might like. You want to be in there really. What's going to help you get in there are some of the tips I'm going to be talking about, but it's most likely to be relevance. How relevant is your video to the person who's viewing? And it's really going to be down to their sort of channel history, what they've been watching previously. The engagement you're getting on that video, are you getting people commenting? Do you have lots of subscribers? And also the quality. How Google determines the quality of your video. So there's lots of different factors, as well as the watch time. And what you really want is a snowball effect from when you release that video, put it out to the world. You want your subscribers to know about it, and then as they're watching it and commenting it, hopefully, and engaging with the video and watching it all the way through, that then shows the algorithm that it's relevant, it's high quality, and it starts showing it to more people. So hopefully some of the tips I'm going to be talking about will help you do that. Now, I will say, as I said at the beginning, we are just starting on our own journey really to optimize our YouTube channel. We've never really needed to, despite me working with other people to optimize their channels. in terms of their delivering video. We've never really needed to do it on our site. One, because we've been busy with other work, and so it's never really been at the forefront of what we do. But as we've started to really scale up the club, we're starting to produce videos like this on a weekly basis. I would like more people to see it. Not so much so we can get more clients. To be honest, we're quite busy, but I'd love more people to see this, see our content. And also, it's a great experiment. I want to really push the bounds of what we're doing so I can share some of those insights with our club members and clients. So it's a bit of an experiment as well. So some of the tips are going to be things I've learned working with other customers and, you know, the research and continuous professional development I do into this area. So let's start with keywords first. Whenever we're looking at search optimization, it's always a good idea to look at keywords and really understand what it is people might be searching for, and making sure that the words they're looking for that particular key phrase, there's enough people searching for it, that you're not going too niche and too narrow, looking at the wrong words. And that's core for me with search optimization, whether it's on YouTube or on the web, finding the right words. And the words don't necessarily mean something to you. They're not internal words that you use in your industry or industry lingo or company. It's much more about the words that your potential audience are going to use to find something like your video. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. One is just to use YouTube search itself. So let's say if I want, let's look for a search of, we're going to use our example of Ninja Forms. So I'm going to type this in. So if I put Ninja Forms, and just start typing that, then we can use YouTube's autocomplete to see what other searches people have been looking for on YouTube. We don't know who these people are. These are aggregated data, but I can see that people are looking for Ninja Forms WordPress, how it integrates with Elementor. So it's another plugin block engine for WordPress. Setting up conditional logic, that's something that's quite interesting in Ninja Forms, and actually might be something that we'd want to do as another video. So this is a good recommendation for people that people are actually searching for that. But I can see down here that we've got Ninja Form multi-step, and that's actually one of the videos we want to optimize. So if I just quickly go and have a look at that, maybe go back to our channel here, videos. In fact, what I'm going to do is take you behind the scenes. We'll go and look at our YouTube Studio channel. And I'm going to head over to content. So this video here, the multi-step video, was one of the last videos we released. So it was already pre-recorded, and we released that last Friday. You would have got that on Wednesday if you're part of the club. And I would like to optimize that. I'd like to get more people to view it. Just because it's slightly difficult to explain, but the way we were running this club before is that we were holding a lot of the videos back as unlisted. So they weren't going public straight away. So we'd upload them, they'd be unlisted, and they would be private for club members only. This year, we've started opening up the videos to anyone because we'd like to get them seen and have that value going out to everyone. So some of the videos that we've got that have already been released, we are re-releasing them. And unfortunately, they don't get the benefit of that 48 hours where they've just been uploaded and released to people. So the view count is lower. So we've got to rely more on search engine optimization to do that. So this is one of the ones I'd like to boost. So I can search for things like Ninja Forms to see what comes up, see what people search. Sorry, I'm looking on our own channel now. Got to move back over here and look just on YouTube. See what other people have searched for here. So Ninja Forms, multi-step, that's one. What I can also do is if I just put a star in front, I can look for phrases that include Ninja Forms at somewhere within the phrase, not just at the beginning. So this might give us slightly alternatives. So we've got one here, how to use Ninja Forms in Elementor, how to use Ninja Forms in WordPress. If I want to optimize specifically for our multi-step form here, so I could put multi, see how that factors in. So Ninja Forms multi-step, Ninja Forms multi-part form. So we've got some different phrases that we could use. This is a really good research tool. The other research tool you can use is Google Trends. Now, this is really useful just doing regular website search engine optimization. You can use this as a way of finding out whether in a broad base, the terms that you want to get found for, the keywords, are going up or down, or you can compare them. So this is somewhere I could come and type in Ninja form, for example. And let's run that. And now we can see over time how people are searching for that in the past 12 months. So we can see the search volume for it. Now, Ninja form is quite niche within WordPress. It is a contact form plugin that people use in WordPress. So it's going to be a niche of WordPress within a niche. But we can generally see how many people are searching for it. And we can see which regions. We can even limit that to, we can make it worldwide or not. Yes, there is an air fryer, which includes Ninja as well. But what we can do with Google Trends is we can limit this to just looking at YouTube search. So now we can start to see how many people are actually searching for Ninja forms on YouTube itself. And this gives us an idea, if we were looking at generating content, whether it's worth our time to create something like that. Now, for me, I'm not so interested in doing it that way around. I would much rather take the questions that our clients ask us or things that I'm interested in and create content based on that for our club videos, rather than looking at what people are already searching for and then creating content based around that. But there's no reason you couldn't do that. I just think maybe you're chasing the wrong thing. And I would rather enjoy this process of creating videos rather than chasing videos and creating videos for other people and for other search terms that I might not enjoy. But, you know, each to their own. It is a strategy you could employ. So by doing this, we can look at the term Ninja form and see how people are searching for it. We can look at related queries. Now, the problem is for Ninja forms, as I said, it's a niche within a niche, so there's not going to be many queries here. However, for certain topics, it's going to be a bit bigger. So let's try a larger topic here, just for an example. YouTube SEO. I checked this earlier, and I know there's lots of terms, lots more search going on here. So again, looking over the last 12 months, we can see a bit of seasonality. So that could be quite useful if that's relevant to your industry. But we can look here that actually just over the summer, this is just in the UK as well. So just during the summer and towards the end of that, that's where we get a bit of a bump in people looking for YouTube SEO. I'm not sure why that is. I would imagine that people over the summer maybe have a bit of time on their hands. Maybe they're taking some time away. They're on holiday. Maybe there's something relevant to do with that. But that might be useful to us to understand the seasonality of it. We can also look at related queries to that. So this is similar to using the Google search bar, the YouTube search bar at the top. And we can also see other bits of content that might be relevant to that. So you can see other content online, other similar topics. It's just a good idea just to get a sense for what's out there, what your competition is, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. You are competing against other videos, so you need to know how hard that's going to be. Now, there are other tools you could use for this research. There are specific YouTube tools for this. I've not used any, so I'm not going to recommend any or talk about them. We've not got that far into it, but you know, when we do, rest assured, I will be creating a video about it. But you can use tools, sort of general SEO research tools like the Google Ad Planner, Keyword Planner. So if you have a Google Ad account, then you can go in and use that tool to get an idea of how many people are searching on Google for those. It's not YouTube specific, but it's going to give you some idea of volumes if that's what you're looking for. But for me, all I want to do is take the videos that we're already creating and just really tweak them and optimize them for that particular market, so the people who are looking can find them more quickly. So that's one key thing to do. The first thing is to take a step back and do some keyword research, understand what people are searching for, maybe some alternative phrases that you can include in there, just to find out how your video is actually going to land. So once you've understood that, you understand the keywords, let's move on and start analyzing and optimizing that particular video. So let's take our Ninja forms as an example. So if I go into this and go and edit the video, now this is already uploaded, but this is something you're probably going to want to do before you publish it, before you release it. is to make sure that you have optimized the title, description, and the tags. So let me just run through those. The important thing about these is it helps both Google or YouTube and your viewers, your potential viewers who are going to see this, understand what the video is about. It gives them a sense of the content. So the title's really important because that's going to include keywords that YouTube can use to help understand where to place your video and maybe who to show that to. But it's also going to jump out to use. It's going to be one of the key things they will see. The description is also important, and something I learned about this that I didn't realize, and this is contrary to how it is on the when you're doing web SEO, is that the description is useful from an algorithmic point of view. The description on a website is not. It's actually discounted and disregarded to aid your ranking and your position in Google search, but it is relevant for people to help people click through. On YouTube, however, people don't see the description until they're actually on your video. So it's not useful as part of a click-through point of view, but it is useful for Google to understand more deeply about the content because you've got a lot more opportunity to put words that are relevant to your video in there. And it's useful for people if they want some further reading or you want to offer some links. Maybe even you can, I'm not going to show it in this, but you can offer jump out points to various different parts of your video if people want to jump ahead. So you get an opportunity to not only add keywords in there, which are relevant to how the algorithm might pick you up, but also you can add further information. So both of those areas are really important. The title, including the keywords that you want in there, and in the description. So in this one, we've got our keywords, multi-step lead forms and ninja forms. Perhaps we might be better to put ninja forms at the beginning and have something a bit more like the phrase here. So ninja forms multi-step. Use that as the first part of our phrase and change this around. So maybe it's multi-step, ninja forms, multi-step, lead generation, how to build them, and sort of phrase it in a slightly different way. So that's something that we can play with. I definitely think we could probably have a bit more of a longer introduction here. This is in part laziness for me. This takes a lot of work, not only to generate the content, but also to come up with some of the text for this. But I think we could go further in terms of analyzing or taking sort of a loose element of the transcription from the videos that we generate and bringing some of that into this description here. So if we look at the actual blog page that we embed the video into, Claire, who runs the club and manages all of this for us, she has brought out some of these notes. So I'm wondering if we can take some of this content and actually put this into our video. It will provide more utility for people without actually having to click through to our website, which is useful, but also there are more keywords in here that might help with relevance and placement. What else is useful here? Oh yeah, and this is something I didn't realize. Although we have been, Claire has been doing it like this, I didn't realize the relevance, but actually having the file name that you upload to YouTube to include some of the keywords and ideally be exactly the same name as the title. Now, in this case, that's what Claire has been doing for many years in terms of uploading these particular videos. But this apparently has some relevance on the algorithm being found. It's also useful from an archival perspective so that our videos are exactly the same as YouTube, so we know where we are. And if people were to download them, which I don't encourage, but they can do, then the file name is representative of the content on YouTube. So everything's just neat and in its place. So that's a useful little tip. Something else that's important to do is to make sure within your description that you include keywords within the first two lines. So that's this line and this line here, if we were to do it. And I would also say include a link as well within those first two lines. The reason for that is that when you are watching the video on YouTube, it will only show the first 2 to 3 lines of content on there. And if your link is not present within it, then they have to click show more, so that they can then click on the link. Whereas if your link was in those first 2 to 3 lines, they will be able to see at least part of it and then click directly from there. So it's just going to encourage more click-throughs because it's more visible. Obviously, if people are interested, they'll open up the description and be able to click on the link anyway, but that would be my advice, always to include a link to something on your website and make sure it's in those first 2 to 3 lines. Something else that's relevant, I don't get very much involved in this, but Claire certainly does when it comes to tagging, is if we just open up this, sorry, I just did that without showing you, but if you click on show more right down the bottom here, and we scroll down a little bit, scroll past all of this, we get to the tag section. It's well worth having your keywords in here. And I see we could probably add a few more keywords. So I'm just going to pop them in now and maybe put multi-step forms. Let's put that one in. Multi-part forms. So I noticed that was a different way of saying the same thing. And then also just Ninja Forms on its own. So let's just add those in. Great. So it's worth making sure you've got relevant keywords in here for this particular video, but also calling out other things that might be relevant, like my name. We've got our company, the club. We've got the fact it's a WordPress contact form plugin. So just all the different variations you can think of. Let's save that. Brilliant. Something else that is incredibly relevant, and for this, I'm just going to go back to our channel, our thumbnails. Now, let me see if I can actually just go back to YouTube itself. Let's get off our channel, just go directly to YouTube. Now, if I just get rid of this and we just quickly flick through some of these thumbnails on here. Now, you will see the ones that tend to stand out and the ones that are clearest are the ones with people's faces in there. And the reason for that, and that I use this sort of knowledge within advertising, is that our brains are designed to recognize people's faces. So we're going to pick them out really clearly and quickly. And even people giving us rude gestures as well, I think that's gonna stand out to us. But if you look at a lot of YouTube videos, it is going to be the ones that stand out to you have faces in. But also you want to try and give a good example of what the content is by showing examples. So at the moment, the Vision Pro from Apple has just come out. So there's a lot of, and I'm interested in Apple and technology. So I'm going to get a lot of those videos and AI things coming up. So if I'm looking through videos, it's going to be a lot quicker for me to see a video that I'm interested in if I can see the product they're talking about in there, which we can see from that particular one at the top here. And there's another one here. Someone wearing a Vision Pro outside, which is probably quite a dangerous thing to do. But I definitely, it's incredibly important, or I can't stress how important thumbnails are. While Google will try and pick the best thumbnail for you, it is definitely worth spending the time and effort to create a manual thumbnail in a graphics package like Canva, Photoshop, or Pixelmator is what I use, to put something together that is attractive, that is going to grab attention, and also gives YouTube and your viewers an example of what might be in that video. So we've been experimenting with different styles of this throughout all of the different videos we've got. I'll just scroll back a little bit here. Let's see, well, we've got 334 videos. I'm just going to try and show 50 at a time. And I'm going to try and go back to our early videos. See if I can just go right back to those. Get right back in time. It's good to revisit these from time to time. So we've done lots of club videos, but before the club videos, we were doing a podcast called Something Inventive. Let's see if I can find some of those. There we are. Here we go. So we've got our Something Inventive podcast ones. And one of the things back in the day I was trying to do with these is we were interviewing a lot of people. So I'd always try and include happy smiley faces from the people we were interviewing on there, plus a lot of the branding. And actually, they look quite nice large, but when you're looking at them at small thumbnail sizes like this, okay, they're not quite as big as these ones, but they take a bit of work. And actually, these are the size of thumbnails you see in the recommended for you on the right-hand side. So they're quite small. So you really want them to be a bit bigger so they grab attention. So while these look nice and they've got faces in them and they're sort of relatively relevant, I think they could be better in terms of what they are. As we moved on in time, we started having, we changed the thumbnail a bit. We had a picture of me in there, but really it wasn't, while it was relevant to the particular topic and it had the text on there, it wasn't interesting enough. It wasn't clear. You know, we had a bit of color going on, but I think it could have been better. If we move forward to where we are today, I'll just scroll back a little bit. One of the most recent thumbnail styles we were trying was to have our club branding in there, have the text, and then maybe have half of the image to have an element of what was in the video, maybe the person we're interviewing, or some relevance behind it. So, something that was relevant to what we're talking about. But again, I think everything's just too difficult to discern at that small size. It doesn't jump out, it doesn't grab. It's a bit samey, it's a bit boring. And so recently we've been trying something new, which I love. So Claire's been producing these thumbnail videos with just a few very simple rules. The core rule is really we're going to try and have the text on the left, and the text is going to be as short as possible. It's going to be very similar to the title, but maybe a bit shorter if need be. We're going to use a consistent size unless we need to jump something out a little bit, in which case she's got 3 different text sizes to play with. So we can see the example here using ChatGPT for marketing. Claire's brought out the text ChatGPT. So that stands out. That's something we can see. Same with MailChimp here. In fact, she's used their logo for that. A recent one we created, which was great. This is Claire and I talking about different ways to make your business 10 times greater. That was a really good one. So she's sort of brought out those keywords. The other thing that goes along with it is to have a symbol or an image that goes along with those, and just keeping it super simple. So in the case of this, it's ChatGPT. We've got the MailChimp logo. We had an interview with Dan Barker, who's a videographer and photographer. So she put together, you can't really see it, but there's a little thumbnail of, let me just go into it. You can see a little thumbnail of Dan there, so there's a real person, plus we've got an image of a camera, just so it's got more context. And then we've got our most recent one, we've got multi-step forms with the Ninja form symbol. So this is going to be really relevant for people who already have Ninja forms and they're looking to create a multi-step form, so they're going to recognize that symbol. And we are starting to see a bit more pickup because of that, because these thumbnails are more interesting, they are simpler, the text is bigger and clearer. I think they look more attractive. The colors are more varied because we tend to pick colors that are relevant to the brand if we're talking about that, or so in the case of Ninja Forms, OpenAI, or it just allows us a lot more scope. We can sort of dive outside of our color palette, and so it's we're not so too precious about that, because it's actually the video that's more important than the content of the video. Also, we've lost our brand on there. The Inventive Marketing Club logo has gone. There will be a watermark that goes over the top when we play the video. But for me, I want these video thumbnails to stand out. So just quickly, how to add a video thumbnail. When you are uploading a video, and once it's finished rendering everything, Google will give you a choice of 3 different videos to choose from. It's usually a beginning, middle, and end, roughly, and they will try and find something that looks interesting. But they're not always great. Like this picture of me looks awful. Certainly wouldn't want that one. To upload a video, you just need to create either a 4K or a 1080p. So that's a 1920 by 1080 image. Same as a PNG or JPEG. Create that in whatever graphics package you like, and then upload it here, and you can even change it later or download your original thumbnail. I definitely advocate doing that. It's worth taking that extra bit of time because you will start to see much more engagement from that. So thumbnails incredibly important. A couple of other different tips. I find using something that stands out. Certainly use contrasting colors between the text and your background. Make sure everything's clear. You want to make sure that your thumbnail is viewable at a small size and also looks great at a larger size, because that is how YouTube is going to show it in sizes like this, plus also small when it's recommended. So I think you need it to be clear. Until you have a huge following where you know people are going to be watching you and recommending your videos, you need to stand out. So high quality images, contrasting colors, and making it as attractive and relevant to your video as possible. A few other factors that I think are worth looking at before we round out this video is watch time. I mentioned it at the beginning. Watch time is important for the algorithm to understand how your video is doing and how interested people are in it. So let's have a look at analytics, which is where we're going to find that. So I'm just going to look at the analytics for this particular video. It hasn't had many because we've only published it recently. And as I said, we've only just started this process. So a lot of our engagement is quite low at the moment. But one of the things you might be, actually, now I'm going to take a different video because one of our later videos here is the OpenAI one. That's had a few more views, so we're going to see a bit more data on here. So if I go into analytics for this, one of the key things we want to look at is watch time. So we've got watch time 1.6 hours. That's something we want to start to increase on our videos and get a higher average watch time. And to do that, what we want to make sure is that people are watching all the way through the video. So we can see here, if we just scroll down to the bottom, we can see for this particular video, there's a big drop off from 100% of people clicking through and watching it to then people moving on. And we can see that really more than 50% have dropped out within the first 20 seconds. And that means I just didn't get to it quick enough, that people were watching it and waiting for me to get to a point. And that's, that optimization is part of my content and my delivery. And that's something we're always trying to improve, to get to the point more quickly, at least within the first 5-10 seconds, so that people know it's worth their while to continue watching. But as we can see here, after this point, it does drop a little bit, but starts to level out, and we're starting to retain the people, and maybe they're getting the information at some point, they drop out. But we retain people going through, which is great. And I would expect to see this. It's this we want to improve, reducing this dropout. What we can do, now the video is loaded here, I can actually play. And we can see after my introduction, I'm talking about hello, welcome to the club, which I've reduced that, shortening down that amount of time so we can get into the club quicker. I can see the video playing and the little bar going across here. We can see at about 22 seconds or so, it's about the time I start going to my screen share. And I think that's happening very shortly. And that's where people start to stick. And that makes sense to me. So it's something we've got to toy with, is how can we get into our videos more quickly without ruining my flow? Because I've got to think about how I produce and record these videos. But this is incredibly important and something we'll be looking at improving going forward in our videos. So definitely worth, if you're looking at optimizing them, you want to try and optimize for that dropout here. Other things that are worth doing, we're talking about getting more views on your channel. You want to share your videos outside of YouTube. So get them on your website, get them on your other social networks. If you can boost those views up, particularly in the first 48 hours, that's going to benefit you. Other things that might be worth looking at are, to encourage more views of other videos, are end screens. So to find an end screen, go into a video, or sorry, to set your end screen, go into a video you want to do this for, and you're going to need to do this for every single video. Click on end screen. And what Google will do is pick a segment of the video in your video, which is near the end, and then it allows you to put some overlays on here. So you've got some different templates. You've got one here, which is showing another video that someone might want to watch, and a little station ident, if you will, your channel ident, which people can use to subscribe. So that might encourage more subscriptions and then boost your watch count. I'll take this format here. And what it's going to do is show the little subscribe to Rather Inventive. And then this particular section here is going to show the next best video for the current viewer. I could pick a specific video, but I'm going to leave it to Google to determine what the best video is based on their search history and this particular content. And so if I were to play that, I'll just mute that. We can see that near the end of the video that oh, that's quite interesting. It's such an old video that's actually flipping back to before I had a green screen. That's interesting. So what it'll do at the end of the video, it's going to bring up the most relevant video to someone and also show our station ident or channel ident so that people can click through. So that's definitely something worth experimenting with on all of your videos. Unfortunately, you will need to go back through and manually add that to each one. But that is going to encourage more people to subscribe because it's easy to do so on there, and also encourage more views of other videos. I will also add, just as a little tip that's quite useful to encourage view count, are to set up, I'm just going to save that. That's done. So something that's worth doing is to set up playlists, because if people can get into one of your playlists, then they are going to watch one video after another of your videos, and it's going to increase your count. These are the plays we have set up at the moment. we've got one for each of our different sort of core areas, social media, stats, SEO, and so on. Plus, we've got one that includes all of the IMC. It's actually not all of our club videos, but most of them. Again, we've had to manually add those. That's just for us at the moment. We will share that eventually, but at the moment, that's just easy for us to share. Plus some older playlists we've got here. But the aim of having these particular playlists is that when people dive into a topic like SEO and content, they're going to get everything that's relevant for them. What we're going to do is actually tweak the video order. So rather than it being sequential in the order that they were produced, put them in an order that makes sense for someone who is approaching this from, maybe they're quite new to SEO and they're looking to improve, so we can start them from the ground up. So this is definitely another way to encourage more views of your channel. So those are the key things, really. You want to encourage more views of your channel, get more people watching it, get more subscribers, so that encourages more views within that 48 hours. Share it as widely as you can. Also, what you want to do is make sure that you have optimized your title and your description with relevant keywords that people might be looking for. And finally, make sure you've got an attractive thumbnail, because that's what people will ultimately want to click on and encourage them to find out more. I will share a couple of, in fact, just 2 resources that are worth looking at. One of them is this tips to optimize your video from Google themselves. We'll make sure that link is in the notes. And this one from HubSpot, which includes lots of detail here, plus a great video. If I can just scroll down to it here, it's a really good video, which is going to go through some of the tips that will be really useful to you and showing you how to do that. So hopefully that's going to be useful to you. Okay, thank you very much for watching this particular episode of the Inventive Marketing Club. You can learn more and find loads of great episodes. I've already shown you a few of them. Or you can join at ratherinventive.com/club. That is ratherinventive.com/club. Bye for now.